Tell me, Derek, what your idea is.
We want to turn the Memorial Arena into a multi-use event facility, pro wrestling, concerts, plays, art exhibitions. We have a whole lot of ideas, and they're all going to come.
How did this come to be?
We were looking for ways to expand our entertainment brand, our events brand. Excuse me. And we heard about the Memorial Arena being decommissioned for hockey and ice sports, and not being suitable anymore. And we thought, what an opportunity to restore it and bring it back for the community.
You see the potential there, obviously. Tell me why.
Because it has such a history in the community, and we really think that the renovations it's going to need can be done. We have an idea for the fundraising program to get it done, and we see our proposal, our outline, as a winning situation for us, for the town of Cobourg, for the residents of Cobourg. We think it's going to, once it's renovated and everything, and we do the fundraising to do that, we think it can be one of the premier event centers in Ontario.
Do you know, have you looked at, do you know numbers for fundraising at this point?
We have an aggressive fundraising proposal that we think we could get $1.5 million raised to do the renovations that are needed.
Is there a lot to do, or I guess you have to work with the town or find out from the town what there is for renovations needed. So are you just, what stage are we at, I guess, at that point?
We have a lot of talking to do with the town, and we just know the same numbers as everybody else. That it's going to cost probably $750,000 to $1 million to bring it up to accessibility codes and renovate it. And we've heard the rumors that there's mold in there and things like that. So we're estimating $1.5 million that we can fundraise to get that done.
Looking at it, it looks like the building's in good structural shape, or great structural shape.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at it from the outside, and it's it's got the solar panels only a couple of years old on the top, and all the brickwork is solid, and it's still structurally in great shape. It's just a matter of getting the especially the Accessibility Act met.
You were saying, talk about your background so people know your background with things. Like I wouldn't say the main thing you want this for, but one of the things that you're looking at using this for is?
Events. I'm an events promoter myself. I promote pro wrestling events, and we promoted karaoke contests and comedy events and things like that quite successfully, and I do have a number of contacts in the entertainment industry with some B+, even A list acts that we could bring to town and make Cobourg a real premier event destination.
What stage is it at with the town then? Like you're about to submit a proposal, or what stage?
We have submitted a proposal, and we are in contact with a member of council, and we understand that council has kind of priorities that they have to deal with during the COVID thing. They have to deal with certain priorities over others right now. We're being patient. What we're hoping for is that council will start moving on a decision, and we would love to be able to have a grand reopening in time for Ontario to open back up.
One thing that you mentioned to me is that this is little or no cost to the town with what would be happening if you got your way, because of you'd be doing everything. Or explain that a little bit, but I mean, you'd be doing whatever, if I can say 99% of the work.
Yeah, our proposal would be to have Top Prize Events managing the facility, staffing the facility, doing all the day-to-day maintenance and everything like that. And we would get a commission on rentals. And we would get a favorable rental for our events would be in our proposal. And that would be our compensation for doing the work to maintain the facility. So it's really a very low risk for the town proposition.
Lionel, can you tell me a bit of background if possible?
Well, actually, I'm an engineer by profession. At this point, I guess consider myself semi-retired. I do a lot of online development work. I do some engineering consulting in the transportation and logistics field. I have a history actually in construction and maintenance. I've done building management and whatnot. And I'm also very community minded. I'm very much the community, and I think this project could be an astronomical thing for the community and an actual blast, a lot of fun to do.
Looking at it, what do you see from the outside? And again, obviously things can look, as you know, very different from the inside. But from the outside, how does the building look?
Well, I mean, I haven't been inside, so I can't really comment on the details. But based on what I see, it's a very solid structure. Yeah, it needs some cosmetic love and care, shall we say. But it's a solid structure. I see the solar panels on it. You know, that's a big investment. I think, you know, just based on the size of the building and where it's located, it represents a tremendous community asset. And the number of events that could be hosted here, charitable events, community events, you know, it reminds me of something I did back in Toronto many, many years ago, where I did a community art show. And we had, I think it was about $15 million of art in a 60,000 square foot building. And it was a blast. Everybody came in, artists were buying and selling, and, you know, and it's just the whole community benefited. And I think we have the same opportunity here.
Would you think, and I didn't ask Derek this, but would you think, and safe to say I can, business begs a question, it was an arena, so it begs a question, would hockey be part of what you're looking for with this building?
Could it be? Certainly, if that's what the community wanted. I am aware that there are other hockey rinks around here, and this is a relatively small one. So, you know, it would add a lot of cost to the renovation, to the maintenance, to the operation of the building. So at this point, I'm inclined to say it would probably be not included. That's not to say we couldn't change things if it was deemed necessary.
Last question, high hopes for this when you see it? High hopes for what you want to accomplish with this?
Oh, I think it's going to be just fantastic. I do. I have, you know, high expectations in terms of, or high hopes in terms of being able to do some wonderful community events, wrestling shows, art shows, comedy shows, all sorts of things that are community building events. And my personal feeling, you know, is it's the community, it's your neighbors. It's one of the things that makes this a special place to be. And we want to continue and build upon that.
Safe place to say, or safe thing to say, I don't want to say rebuild it, but rework it and they will come.
Yeah, well, I think that's it. You know, if it's a fun place to be and you're not worried about problems, then the people will come and enjoy themselves here. And it's all a matter of giving them a really good reason to come.
Last thing, and I should mention this, and people would go at me if I didn't mention this, what about COVID? So buildings with people and COVID, you know, I guess time will tell.
Time will tell. I mean, listen, I'm not someone that can foresee the future, but I do know from my own medical past that, you know, listen, these things come and go. There was a time when the influenza was, you know, a really big deal. The fact of the matter is, if you look back in the history books, since, I don't know, 1200 BC, we've had about 250 documented pandemics. In the last 3 years, we've had 15 documented pandemics. There are viruses and stuff that have killed far more people than this COVID thing. I do believe that, life goes on. And for a little while, people will wear masks and they'll be scared of coming out and whatnot. But over time, life goes on.
You never know. Never know.